I won't lie, I bought this game with the intention of refunding it, assuming that I would get bored a few games in. Well, in actual fact, I haven't stopped playing NFL Pro Era. It's so immersive that I feel like I'm putting on the QB helmet every time I put on the quest. The stadium designs are beautiful. I love how the coach calls plays in your ears whilst you huddle with your team before heading into formation. Throwing feels great once you turn off assist, and I'm so invested in my team that I hardly skip the opposition's drive just so I can shout out my defensive line for leaving gaps for Mahomes to exploit. I've had a lot of fun making the Saints relive their glory days. In fact, this game reminds me a lot like the final years of Drew Brees for the Saints. The team is solid on the surface, but lacks a few key pieces to make the Super Bowl. Now I have to start this review off by talking about the presentation. It is beautiful. From the sound design to the pure scale of each unique stadium, Pro Era really does a good job in making you feel like you're on the field. When it comes to game time, your coach calls plays into your ear. The crowd gets electric after you score a touchdown, even if your players just run off the field. Even when you're off the field, you get to watch your defense make a fool out of themselves. Well, that's probably because I'm playing with the Saints, but that's besides the point. Also, on the side of the field, you actually get an iPad with a limited version of an OS. Here you can revisit the last drive or quick sim to when you're about to go back on the field. Even though the iPad lacks features like the ability to favorite certain plays to use on the next drive, it's still a neat touch to add to that immersion, and besides, you can just watch the simulation unfold in front of you. It's truly remarkable of what they have achieved all on this mobile hardware. The presentation stretches outside the field too. When you first turn on the game, you arrive in a locker room. This is your game hub, where you can jump straight into the season, check on what other teams have been doing, and change up your character. I think it's a neat touch that you get to play as a female quarterback, even though the rest of the team is still male. Attached to the locker room is a trophy room where you can collect, well, you guessed it, trophies throughout the season. And when you beat a team, you also get their signature pigskin. As you can see, I still have a lot of trophies left to go, even though I've played quite a few hours in the game. I do wish, however, that the trophies were shown as transparent, so I could see exactly what I needed to do throughout the season to unlock them. I can picture plenty of frustrated trophy hunters when they have only one gap left and have no idea what they have to do to get it. For a good VR game, you need immersion, and Pro Era checks this box with flying colors. But wait, gameplay is also king, if not more important, in a motion-controlled video game. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, it's really fun to play. Let me show you how it works. So the coach calls a play at the start of each drive. After you get into formation, you have a choice to go against your coach's wishes and select a completely different play. Once you catch the snap, you lock eyes on which player you want to pass to. When pass assist is on, they light up green or yellow depending on the risk of the pass. When it is off, this guy disappears. Then you throw, give it to your running back, or take it on yourself. Now, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I find it really difficult giving the ball to the running back at times, but it is good enough after some tweaks. In fact, let me talk to you about that. By default, you have pass assist on. Therefore, I found that any time the player was green, I would have a 95% pass rate. This makes the game very, very easy. In fact, so easy that I was considering refunding the game because it sucked the fun out of it. But then, a kind follower on Twitter advised me to turn it off, and that was so much better. In fact, I still make a lot of throws, but if my arm gets tired in real life, it shows. I've made plenty incomplete passes, and I've even thrown it straight to the opposition. Yeah, it was that bad. But then I also have some games where I turn into the legendary Drew Brees and make plays only Winston could dream of. So it balances the game well, and I would highly recommend that you try turning that off if the game feels a little easy. I also recommend cranking the difficulty up to the max, the All-Star Pro level. I found that the easier difficulties gave me hours to play in the pocket with hardly any sacks. In fact, now that I come to think of it, I didn't think there was any sacks recorded until I upped the difficulty. So what I'm trying to say is that the gameplay starts off a little too easy, but then it can be fixed with modifiers, and ultimately it becomes very fun to play. However, there is one game-breaking mechanic that you could do over and over again to win every single game: the quarterback rush. Whenever I don't see the pass, I sometimes opt to run the play myself. Maybe I could sneak a few yards, or try and get a first down after 3rd and 1. But what I found is that the defense is so occupied by my own line and the actual football itself that 9 times out of 10 I can run 20, 30, maybe even 40 yards as a quarterback. In actual fact, a lot of those times I'm scoring touchdowns. Check this out. Okay, I want to start in the middle of the field here. There is no way I should be able to QB rush this for a touchdown. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to run backwards and show him the ball. And then I'm going to invite 2 and go past him on the left. And as I'm going to run now, I'm going to keep showing them ball to the right. Keep showing them the ball, because it seems like the defenders keep going towards the ball itself. Look, I had 3 defenders on me right there. And then I just turn into Superman. And for some reason, Superman makes me run even faster. So definitely a game-breaking mechanic. Even on max difficulty, this happens, which is a big bummer. I tend to try and avoid rushing now just because it simply breaks the game, unless I'm about to lose and I want to cheat my way to victory. Aside from the season, there is the ability to play one-off games in exhibition mode. You can also play some really fun mini games which lack a dedicated leaderboard, which is a bizarre omission. 2-minute drills are also available, which basically puts you in a 2-minute warning, 1st and goal, and the aim is to score as many touchdowns as you can before the time runs out, which actually does have an online leaderboard, oddly enough. Which brings me to multiplayer, and it's a wee bit disappointing. Actually, who am I kidding? It's very disappointing. In fact, I selected multiplayer, got placed into a training field with a bunch of randoms, and they all were kind of saying the same thing on the mic.
I'm so disappointed they didn't actually put a fucking game mode, an actual football game mode on this game.
This is not a proper head-to-head mode. You can't play against your friends or other randoms in that way. Not yet anyway. The developers have said that they're working on a true head-to-head mode for possibly early 2023 release, but as of now you can only play 3 different minigames with your party. These consist of throwing, where you can throw to a target to hit more points than your opponent. You also have dodgeball with footballs, which is by far the best one, but it's still mediocre. And a boss mode, where one player becomes one giant footballer, and all the other players need to throw footballs at the giant boss to take him down. No head-to-head mode right now is a bit of a letdown, especially at $30, which is what the game is priced at. In fact, let's talk about the price. I understand that it needs to be $30 since it has a full NFL license, which includes everything: the players, the Lombardi Trophy, the accurate stadium designs with all the sponsors. However, for a $30 Quest game, it is lacking features like multiplayer, or it'd be nice if they had a playoff only mode where you can start the season in the playoffs for a shorter experience. This isn't a comparison video to other football games out there. If you want that, leave a comment below, but here's one for free. 2MD Football lets you design your own plays to run on the field, something that this game would have welcomed in its long, grueling season, and it would be a great addition to when there is actually true head-to-head multiplayer as well. Don't get me wrong, if you're into football or just want a very fun sports game to add to your Quest collection, then look no further than NFL Pro Era. It's immersive, has solid gameplay for the most part, and you're gonna get addicted to it, just like I've been over the last month or so. However, if sports games aren't your thing, or you're a little on the fence, At $30, it might be best to wait for when a couple more updates happen over the next few months. But if you do dive in, believe me, you're going to have the best time and you're not even going to think about that $30. Now it's your turn. Let me know if you picked this up in the comments below. Did my accent annoy you whilst pairing it with an American sport? I know I would have been, so drop that down in the comments. All feedback is welcome. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Also, if you really want VR content, then check out the Let's Talk Oculus podcast, which I do with my buddy Samson. All the links will be in the description below. Talk to you later.